Imagine the president of the most powerful country in the world calling the president of an allied country and telling him bluntly, "You are crazy and everyone in the world hates you." This is not a work of fiction. This is exactly what happened in the last few hours between Trump and Netanyahu after Israel dragged America into this terrifying quagmire. Today, we will reveal to you the hidden truth of how Iran, according to available satellite images, has restored 75% of its powerful missile force underground despite the bombing. And why is Trump now trembling from an Iranian threat that could destroy the biggest event in the world, the World Cup? And what are the sensational confessions that Trump made today, one way or another? We have all of that for you today, but after this break, stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings, and welcome to a new edition of the Opinion Series today, which we always dedicate to following the latest developments and updates of this major conflict in the Middle East between Iran and the Epstein Alliance. It is clear, dear viewers, that the day will definitely come when America will turn against Israel, will stop backing it, and will stop this unwavering support it provides, and so on, leaving it to its inevitable fate, which is disappearance. And this scenario, as all the indicators suggest today, is indeed approaching. The thing that brings us closest to this scenario is Netanyahu remaining as Prime Minister. The longer Netanyahu stays in this position, the faster we get closer to experiencing this scenario. The American website Axios published today some very serious leaks that are both very serious and very important. These leaks, according to American officials who confirmed them, reveal exactly what happened. In the phone call that brought the two together, meaning Netanyahu and President Trump, the phone call was described in a number of American newspapers or American media outlets as the worst ever. The first thing is that Trump described Netanyahu as crazy. I mean, he told him bluntly, "You are crazy." So imagine with me this scene. The president of a country calls the president of another country and tells him clearly, "You are crazy." It's unbelievable, really, and it can't happen. I mean, according to political and diplomatic norms, it can't happen. But when it comes to a supporting country and a client state, this can actually happen, especially when the president of the supporting country is Trump, and the president of the functional country is Netanyahu, who is ready to do, anything at all. To escape the corruption charges that are chasing him, Trump described Netanyahu as crazy. That's first. Second, what did Trump say? He accused Netanyahu of being ungrateful. He told him plainly, "If it weren't for me, you would be in prison now. I'm the one who saved you." As a reference to the support Trump gave Netanyahu earlier during his trial on corruption charges, the pressure that Trump also put on Israeli President Isaac Herzog, asking him to grant Netanyahu a presidential pardon, there were significant efforts from Trump in this regard. Trump told Netanyahu explicitly, "If it weren't for me, you would be in prison now." The third thing that came up in this phone call is that Trump admitted to something very important. Everyone repeats that, but what's important here is that it came as an official admission, meaning an admission from the president of the world's leading superpower. Trump admitted to Netanyahu that Israel's image on the global stage has collapsed. Everyone in the world now hates Israel because of Netanyahu. That's what he told him, because of the crimes and provocations Netanyahu is committing in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and so on. He told him, "You are the one who caused all of this." So Trump warned Netanyahu that targeting the southern suburb of Beirut now, at this time, would deepen Israel's international isolation. So he admitted, it means it's an admission that Israel has indeed become internationally isolated. and that if Netanyahu commits this foolish act again, it will further deepen the isolation that Israel is suffering from. Do you mean since October 7th or since the events of October 7th? What do you mean? Axios reported that this phone call was full of insults, bad language, and so on. It criticizes Netanyahu's actions that dragged America into these conflicts that could have been avoided. Actions that, as is clear today, have caused America to lose its standing in the Middle East. In reality, dear viewers, what made Trump speak to Netanyahu in this way was the Israeli escalation in Beirut, Lebanon, which has started to threaten the ongoing negotiations between Iran and America. It threatens them with collapse, meaning it is leading them to the brink of collapse. At a time when the negotiations were getting close to reaching a solution, to a long-term truce agreement that would ensure the upcoming World Cup would go smoothly and peacefully, then Netanyahu comes out with a decision to strike the southern suburb of Beirut. And everyone knows that striking the southern suburb means committing massacres, it means committing major crimes against unarmed civilians, because the suburb is densely populated, full of residential buildings and so on. And this is exactly what Netanyahu wants, meaning he wants to kill as many Lebanese and Palestinians as possible and so on. If Iran had not quickly come out with a similar threat, today we would be witnessing killings in Lebanon by the hundreds. Iran threatened that any bombing of the southern suburb would mean the end of the truce, the end of negotiations, and the return of war once again. It said that if this actually happens, the residents of northern Israel would have to leave the area immediately, meaning that Iranian missiles would then rain down on the airport, on these cities and villages in northern Israel. So everything would have collapsed at that moment, all at once. And if this scenario had happened, there wouldn't have been a World Cup, for sure. The security situation would have escalated globally. At the very least, there wouldn't have been a successful World Cup. There wouldn't have been any success for this World Cup. That's why President Trump rushed to make this call to Netanyahu, scolding him with these words, with these phrases and so on. And he made a direct statement. That means after that, there wouldn't be any escalation in Lebanon, as if he was reassuring Iran, saying there wouldn't be any escalation. Don't worry. So Trump did a phone interview with an American news channel and said that America and Iran would sign the agreement next week. And when we talk about next week, it means it will be a day or two before the start of the World Cup, which will kick off on June 11. And this is exactly what Trump wants. He wants a long truce agreement for 60 days starting before the World Cup begins and ending after a while, meaning during the World Cup. He set this date after making changes to the proposal that Iran had agreed to, which we talked about in the previous episode. He believes that until this date. It means he can gain these additions or these changes and therefore gain other points within this upcoming agreement. But of course, Iran knows this game very well. Iran is a major negotiating player. I mean, Iranians master the game of political chess and are skilled in the language of negotiation. I mean, the really interesting thing about this interview that Trump had with this American channel is that he admitted something very important that maybe everyone didn't notice. Trump said that a peace agreement with Iran is better than a military victory, meaning it's better than going back to war and achieving a military victory. So here, pay close attention that he is, in one way or another, admitting that America was actually defeated by Iran, defeated in this war, the Ramadan War or the 40-day war. So Trump admits that signing an agreement with Iran is better than achieving a military victory, meaning he admits that he did not win this war and that now he prefers to sign an agreement. So this confirms what we always say about this conflict. How is it that Iran comes out victorious today, changing the equation in the Middle East and perhaps changing the equation in the whole world? Because this conflict is connected to other major conflicts happening in the world, with Russia, with China, and so on. All these developments happened because Iran threatened to bring the war back again. Another point which is very important, pay close attention to how the equation has changed. In the past, we used to see that America was the one threatening to strike Iran, saying we will we will strike, we will do this and that, you have to sit at the table, you have to make concessions and so on. Today it is Iran that is threatening to bring the war back, and America is the one avoiding this scenario. Why is that? Because it taught America a lesson it will never forget. The head of the National Security Committee in the Iranian parliament, Ebrahim Azizi, said in a statement that if these attacks on Lebanon do not stop, very severe consequences will be faced by American and Israeli forces in the region. And the good thing is, Azizi said that this Epstein alliance knows very well that this is not an empty threat. This is not an empty threat. It knows very well that Iran is fully prepared for another round of war, while it is the one unable to fight this war again. There was another statement made by one of the officials. The deputy commander of Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters said that Iran has not yet revealed all its trump cards, and he said, "We have said it." He means time and again that we have not yet revealed all the cards. And this, of course, is consistent with the other statements and threats that were made yesterday about the possibility of closing the Bab al-Mandab Strait as well, in case of escalation. This Iranian official also said something very important. What did he say? He said that the facilities Iran uses today to manufacture weapons are completely hidden from the enemy's eyes. He said they don't know their locations and will never be able to reach them. And he said that Iran does not need nuclear weapons. He said that Iran has something stronger than nuclear weapons, which is the people, the Iranian people. There is a new report conducted by the American network CNN, which, through analysis of a set of satellite images, shows how Iran has rebuilt its missile forces again. Because these images showed, for example, that Iran has reopened the gates to 50 underground tunnels out of 69 tunnels that were targeted during the last war. 69 tunnels. So what was the Epstein coalition doing during the previous war? They were striking the gates that lead to these tunnels, the entry gates, because they can't destroy what's underground in these tunnels. I mean, far underground. So what do? They only strike the gates through which the trucks carrying the missiles would come out, launch the missile, and then return again into the tunnel. So CNN said, according to these images, satellite images, that the Epstein coalition destroyed the gates of 69 tunnels, and Iran succeeded in reopening the gates of 50 tunnels. They said that Iran has regained 75% of its missile capabilities during this truce period. Meanwhile, this Iranian official confirmed that there are other underground facilities that America knows nothing about. What does that mean? They are now manufacturing missiles and military equipment, and there are also facilities specifically for launching missiles and so on. And this Iranian official also said something very important in response to Trump's previous statement from a few weeks ago. Trump, I mean. At that time, if everyone remembers, he said that he would send Iran back to the Stone Age. So this Iranian official responded to him. What did he say? He said, even if we go back to the Stone Age, we will fight America with stones. So pay close attention to these statements, how clever the Iranians are in sending messages, how they boost morale. So, what did he say? Even if we go back to the Stone Age, we will fight America with stones. Why is that? What did he say? Because we never surrender. Iran does not surrender, and the Iranian people also do not surrender. So now it's clear that things have become more complicated for Trump because Iran suspended the negotiations due to Netanyahu's actions and his haste. Time is running out quickly. Only a few days separate you from the start of the World Cup in America, Canada, and Mexico. Will Trump succeed in bringing Iran back to the negotiations or not? Will there be an agreement next week? According to what Trump stated today, we will be monitoring all these details in the coming hours, and we will see how the developments unfold. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. See you next time.